U.S. President Donald Trump has announced the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife and family flown out of Venezuela. Vice President Delcy Rodriguez says Venezuela demands proof of life of their president. Putting out details on his social media handle, the U.S. president said that the operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement agencies. Trump announced that he will be addressing a press conference on the operation at Mar-a-Lago later in the day.
The National Armed Forces of the Bolivarian nation informs the whole world that in the early hours of the morning, today 3rd of January, the Venezuelan nation has been the target of the most criminal military aggression by the government of the United States of America. Up to this moment, the barbarism of the invading forces that have profaned our sacred soil in the locations of Fuerte Tiuna, Caracas, the Miranda, Aragua, and La Guardia State fired their rockets and missiles from their combat helicopters in urban civilian areas, from where we are already gathering information with regards to injured and dead.
Ahead of his capture, Venezuelan President Maduro declared a state of emergency after multiple explosions that rocked the capital Caracas in the early hours of today. Talking on the United States, he called the attack an extremely serious military aggression by the country. Multiple blasts were seen lighting up the night sky in Caracas, followed by explosions and columns of smoke rising. At least 7 explosions were reported across Venezuela.
I live here in Chacao, and approximately an hour and a half ago, we felt planes flying and explosions. Several explosions, at least 8 or 10. And now I went out to look around, and now all you see is smoke, smelling like creolin.
According to reports, electricity was cut in the area and sounds resembling low-flying aircraft were heard around 2 a.m. local time. According to U.S. media, Trump administration officials said they were aware of reports of explosions and aircraft over Caracas. Following the explosions, the Venezuelan government issued a statement denouncing what it termed as a U.S. military aggression. The government claimed that the capital Caracas and state of Miranda, Aragua, and Aguera were targeted, stating that the attack constituted a flagrant violation of the United Nations Charter. The government claimed that the objective was to seize Venezuela's oil and mineral resources, assuring the people that the government remained steadfast in defense of Venezuela's sovereignty. It has given a call for mobilization plans against the attacks. Maduro's government claimed that armed forces have been deployed to guarantee sovereignty and peace, stating that the president has signed a decree declaring a state of emergency. It asserted the right to exercise the country's legitimate defense to protect the people. Since last September, U.S. forces have carried out at least 35 maritime strikes in the Caribbean and the Eastern Pacific, killing more than 100 people. According to the data, 2 strikes occurred off the coast of Gran Rock, 1 strike in Sucre, 4 strikes off La Guerra, 4 strikes near Buenaventura, and 2 strikes off Acapulco. These incidents marked a significant escalation in U.S. military activity, raising concerns about regional stability and security. In neighboring Colombia, the U.S. Embassy in Bogota has urged its citizens not to travel to Venezuela. It has urged all U.S. citizens in Venezuela to depart immediately. It stated that since 2019, the U.S. Department of State withdrew all diplomatic personnel from U.S. Embassy in Caracas and suspended operations. It added that all consular services, routine and emergency, remain suspended. The embassy says the U.S. government has no ability to provide emergency services to U.S. citizens in Venezuela. The president of neighboring Colombia called for an emergency meeting of the United Nations over the strikes. Taken to social media, he said that Caracas was being bombed by missiles. Earlier, in her end-of-year message to Venezuelans, Nobel laureate and Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado said that 2026 will be the year of the consolidation of the nation's freedom.